Hi everyone and welcome back to the YouTube channel. This could be a quick video on how I clean and maintain my Fluval 207 canister filter. As you can see, if you take off the lid and remove this cap, that shows your impeller for the filter. That goes back on just like that. Sometimes you have to remove that to make sure that you clean it so it doesn't get blocked up and it still works correctly. Now I'm going to show you how to put the lid on. So if you move the lid over to the canister, you see these clips here. You just sit the lid down onto the canister filter like that. Flip the clips down underneath. Once it's all the way fully down, flip the clips underneath, push the caps over, and that secures the lid of the filter in place. Then onto the pipes. On the left hand side you've got the intake, and on the right hand side you've got the outtake. You've got the two paddles on top. We'll get into them a bit later on. Let's head outside and start cleaning the filter. So once outside, you need to get your hose ready. You'll need this to blast all of the crud off of the filters and out of the compartments in the filter. So you take the lid off. Just give that a quick rinse. Get all the grime off and make sure that the grate that you can see is clear of any obstructions, any debris that might be there. Set that aside and then empty the filter out completely until it's fully empty. Take the foams out, give them a good rinse. This is meant to be green. I think it's to help remove phosphates, but it's been running a few months now, the tank, and to be honest I could do with replacing the filter. But if you just make sure you give it a really good thorough clean, get rid of any debris, any weight, as much waste as possible. Like I say, I do need to replace all of these filters at some point. So pop them to the side, give everything a clean off again. Once you get to this point, set them aside and you can pull out the compartments. There's 3 of them inside that go on the right hand side of the filter. The top one has the green phosphate remover, and as you can see, after giving that a rinse, just quickly give the active carbon a rinse. This needs replacing as well. Just haven't got around to doing it yet. I just give everything a quick rinse off, make sure there's no debris collected in it. Any little plant leaves or moss or anything. Give all of the trays a rinse out. And I do that for all of the 3 compartments, apart from the next compartment that you can see that's got the ceramic disc things in there. They have all the beneficial bacteria inside them, so I leave them alone. I do empty them out into a bucket and just give the grate a bit of a clean out. And then you move on to the bottom one. This is your fine filter floss. Take that out, give that a blast as well, and then it's got your more coarse foam underneath, which is the black one. That removes some of the bigger particles, and you'll see a lot of the plant, any plant leaves, plant waste, that gets caught up in that. But I just give it all a clean out and set them aside. So once you've cleaned all of the filters, you can start to put them back together. Put the coarse foam in first, then put your fine filter floss on top of that one. That goes in the bottom compartment, as you can see. And then you can slot the next compartment over the top. It does help that if when you put them on, you put them on correctly, so they sit properly. But as you can see, I was having a bit of difficulty doing that. It was really cold outside. Just giving everything else a quick rinse off. Again, I'm a bit thorough when it comes to cleaning of the filter. I like to make sure everything's clean. So once you put the ceramic discs on that hold all the beneficial bacteria, you can add the top tray, pop your active carbon back into the top, And once you've done that, you can then add the final piece of foam onto the top of that, and that's all ready to go back into the filter. And once you've added that, you can grab the lid that you've cleaned and fix that back on top of all three of the compartments. However, I do recommend leaving that off until you've cleaned the filter out and popped them back into the filter, because there is a red handle which helps you get them in and out. But once you've done that, set that all aside, empty out the filter of any water, and then you move on to the other side, which has these bigger foams in, more coarse foams. They collect a lot of waste, as you'll see in a minute. As you can see, these foams catch a good amount of gunk, fish waste, small little bits of plant which have been sucked up the filter, moss. But I really do give these a good rinse out. But all of these need replacing. I do need to get around to doing that soon, to be honest. So as you can see, clean the ground away, make sure any debris is out of the way, and nice clean surface to work on. Bring the canister filter back in, and we'll start putting all the filters back together. And there we have it. Everything is back in the filter in the correct order, in the correct place, all clean, ready to go back under the tank and get switched on. So that's the outlet where the water comes back into the tank from the filter. That's the inlet where it sucks the water out of the tank. All of the waste goes up there, down into the canister filter underneath. I'm just going to pull that off, and as you can see, all of the waste that's collected inside of there, and that's only a week and a half's worth, but I did trim the moss. So this is underneath the tank where the filter will connect back up to. As you can see, there's the two levers. The red one, once you've put the two pipes into the top of the filter, you pull the red one down, that connects the pipes, locks them in place, and then as you can see, as you pull the grey one down, that opens up the valves inside to allow for the water to come through. But as we noticed after cleaning the filter out and turning it back on, that it wasn't really very powerful, and I believe that inside of these two pipes they'd got clogged with grime, so we're going to flush them through now. As you can see, quite a lot of gunk will come out, and this is only probably 1.5 to 2 weeks worth, but it really does slow down the performance of the filter. It doesn't allow great flow to come back through into the tank, but as you can see, I'm just got the hose inside and I'm blasting that back through from the top of the tank where you saw the inlet and the outlet, and as you can see, it gathers in the bucket all of the waste that's collected inside of there, and once you've finished that, it really does help with the flow. And now we'll go do the same, as you can see, for the one that goes back into the tank. That one doesn't tend to get as much gunk inside of it, but if you look in the bottom of the bucket there, most of that came out of the one from the tank. And then you just shut that valve back off just to make sure that they're shut and that no more water can come back through. And now moving on to connecting it back into the top of the filter canister, you slot that section there into the top, the lid of the canister filter. As you can see, it drops down. You pull that red lever down and that locks them in place with the seals. And then when you're finally ready to turn the filter back on, you have to pull this lever down and you'll start to hear the water coming back through. Once it sounds like there's no more water ready to fill the canister, or very little, it's recommended to pump the primer 3 to 4 times. That just releases any air out of the system, and then you're ready to turn the filter back on. And as you can see, it's all back up, running. So that was just a quick video of me cleaning my filter out. Just a quick one this week. If you could like and subscribe to the channel, it's totally free. It really will help me out.